Sudeikis, and Will Forte. Billie Lourd. Last but not least, I have together Kaitlyn Dever and Beanie Feldstein.
Which is represented beautiful movie. Thank you. I mean, what a good time for all of us, from all of you. Thank you. This is amazing. Thank you. So, how did it start? I mean, they give it, every question about both how the story came to you, but the casting of it.
Well, casting is a great thing, and it's even better when you have a genius like Allison Jones, our casting. Discovered generations of brilliant talent, from Freaks and Geeks to Superbad to The Office and now to Booksmart. It was incredible to discover so many of these people with her and to get my dream cast. That's a filmmaker's absolute fantasy, and I'm so lucky because these people here are the future of the entertainment industry, and we are so lucky. Also, Jason and Will. They are the future.
It's just so funny. Well, it's so, moving and warm, but it's just so funny. And in terms of was it just really funny on the page, or how hard is it to get that funny?
I'm so glad you mentioned the page. It was such a joy to bring this thing to life. Especially with Katie Silberman, our writer, one of our
I think there was a lot on the page that was elevated by Olivia in every aspect and everyone here. A really fun aspect of this whole process was how much it evolved after casting and how much everyone brought individually to every day. Dialogue, ideas, it was amazing to watch every scene evolve throughout the process as everyone brought more of themselves to it. And they're all so funny in such different ways, and it made it so easy for me every day. It was such a blast.
We actually can take some audience questions as well. There's mics here in the front, so go ahead and line up. Interested in all the cast, but I can't help but point out, particularly I'm just going to point out, Kaitlyn has been here before. She was one of the short trip 12 people, so maybe. No pressure on butt. But wait, can we hear from Beanie and from Kaitlyn about this is the star-making turns here, and I don't know, anything you want to say is kind of...
Anything? I'm shaking right now. I can't even control myself. I don't even know what to say. I feel so lucky to be here and to see everybody, and it's so great to be here with you guys.
We're in a bit of a state of shock. I think I speak for both of us and I say it was such a joint ride. Thank you for bringing up Short Term 12, but also I'm already going to start crying. Kaitlyn is one of the most brilliant actresses of all time, so for me it was just to live, I just got to look at her every day and think, rise to her level, Beanie, just get on up there. And the entire cast is just some of my closest friends in the world, my new closest friends in the world, the most brilliant, loving, nurturing, cool-ass leader in Olivia Wilde.
Deeply overwhelmed at everything she just said.
Have you always wanted to direct?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely, but it takes a lot of courage to do it. And, I had to spend a lot of time paying attention and observing, and I started with music videos and shorts, and I recommend that to anybody in here who wants to direct. It's a good way to get your feet wet, and I just had a dream of making a film like the ones that I loved and still love, and for me, in my teenage years, it was the generational anthems that kept me going. It was films like Breakfast Club and Dazed and Confused and Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Clueless, and I thought we need one of those for this generation. I want to add to that conversation. Go ahead.
Hey, I just loved every choice that you made. Because it felt like really like tight shots of like their faces. It's like very character oriented, and especially the music. So my question is,
Our music supervisor is here. I'm gonna give him a shout out.
like it was like a collaborative thing. It was awesome. So I just want to know how much of your input was
For the music?
His, yeah.
Well, we are really good friends, Brian and I, old friends, and we collaborated on this completely, and it was a process of, you know, me saying, for production, I want 10 playlists so I can play music the entire time we're shooting, because I believe in music on set. And that was an amazing thing because we were creating music for this film from every process, from every part of the process. And then when we got down to actually choosing tracks, it was such a great collaborative thing to say, I've tried 17 different things, this one feels good, but I bet it's impossible to get, right? And he'd say, yes, but I'll make it happen. So it was really amazing. There's a lot of my favorite music in the world in this movie, and we're so, so lucky. I should call out one of our actual musicians on our soundtrack is here tonight, Santa Gold.
I want to say first off, as someone in the class of 2019, I appreciate it. It was great. It's so much fun. My question for Olivia is, one of the things that sticks with me right now is the whole climax of their argument. And I love how you put the two sides, how they just don't know what's going on with them in the past, like, 3 minutes, right? But it boils up to be a great argument. And I'm wondering what your artistic choice was when you faded out the whole argument scene to just be a lip syncing. I wonder if you thought of it.
Yeah, well, you know, I think there's arguments that we've all been a part of that are so overwhelming that at a certain point you kind of black out. You don't even know what you're saying. It's so emotional. And you're just saying things to hurt so that you don't get hurt. And that's a familiar feeling. It only happens in arguments with people you care about deeply. And when these brilliant actresses created that scene, which was, by the way, one shot, I don't know if you noticed, but they are geniuses who nailed that on a second take. Yeah. And it was truly heartbreaking, and we had a lot of very manly grips, crying. But it was incredible to watch because we thought at a certain point it becomes a universal experience watching that argument, and everyone personalizes it. And I thought we should remove the dialogue so that it becomes universal in that way. You're just swept away by the emotion. And because they're so talented, their faces are saying everything we need to know anyway.
Thank you.
Before I ask my question, this one was amazing, and the acting was really good. It was very heartfelt, and not like a lot of coming-of-age stories I've seen recently. And that leads me to my question. What were, for Olivia, what were some of your directorial skills that do you have any tips for aspiring filmmakers for making like films, like coming of age stories? Like, did you base some of this off of like personal experiences, or did you just like come up with a funny idea for this film, like one day when you were just writing the script?
I love that question, and I want you to make a coming-of-age film, because I can tell you've got one in your head. And my advice would be, you've got to personalize it, because it has to be personal in order for you to make it feel authentic. And you've got to cast well. You should really hire Allison Jones. But you have to cast well because they are your collaborators. And I think a lot of times people who want to direct stop themselves because they assume they have to do every job on their own, and that's just not true. A director is a collaborator. The job of a director is to create the most fertile environments where people can do their best work. So all you have to do is bring the right people together, and then you have to set them free. You've got to trust them. And if you've got a cast like this, you can totally trust them.
Oh my goodness, sorry, I'm all nervous. Thank you so much for making this. It just spoke so much to me when I gave my graduation speech. I didn't know any of the students really in the audience, and like, it just really meant a lot to me.
Thank you.
For Katie, I just had to ask, like, how many different iterations of an ending did you go through, or how did you get to that final scene?
The graduation scene or the? Oh yeah, well that was, there really from the beginning as the ending. Olivia had such an incredible vision of the arc of the story and the story. When we realized it was kind of a breakup movie, it's like about a friendship's breakup. That was really pivotal, I think, because we were working towards that the entire time. And we knew that, I love it that like when you really love someone, you can't say I love you or goodbye, you're just like, okay, see you later, cool. And that they knocked out of the park in such an extraordinary way. That was a really crazy scene to shoot. And people were crying on set when they were doing it. They were so amazing. So it was fun to be able to work towards that the whole time. And things in between ebbed and flowed, but Olivia knew exactly where it needed to end the whole time, and it was wonderful to have that goalpost.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
This really did not feel to me like a film directed by a first-time filmmaker. I thought and flow between scenes and structure. I was just so thoroughly impressed the whole time with how it managed to kind of unfold. You begin to realize, oh, this is all over the course of one night, kind of. Did you have any inspiration or sort of guiding principles as to how you wanted the film to progress from scene to scene, as far as how it was paced and how the flow of the structure of this sort of one crazy night structure, because it just felt so alive and well paced?
Well, I really want to give credit to our editor, Jamie Gross. Jamie, to collaborate with an editor who understands the pacing you have in your head and can make it better than you ever dreamed. And I'm really, really proud of the fact that we were able to shove all of this activity into one night, into one movie. Of course, I had a 3-hour cut of the film that I think would have been really wonderful. I think, you know, I was inspired by movies like The Big Lebowski. Movies that are kind of odysseys that happen very quickly and go through so many different environments. And it's so exciting to see so many different levels of performances, from broad to subtle, and so many different amazing textures. And I think we can do that with a generational anthem epic, you know, about young people. So, but truly, it's all about your editor. Go ahead.
Hey, I just thought the movie was like unbelievably sincere. I think that all of the close-up shots of the actors just so subtle. You guys did such a good job of not acting. I was sitting there, I'm like, these guys could have been my friends in high school. I actually have a question for Beanie, if that is okay. Of course. So I think, so you have your like Booksmart girl, and she's kind of bitchy, and everybody in high school has that person. I was that person, so I know what it is. But I loved that you made her lovable. So what were your thoughts whenever you were creating Molly as a person, and like your facial reactions, especially in a couple of those final scenes? Like, what were you thinking whenever you were thinking about Molly and who she is?
Thank you so much for that question. I feel like she's such an intensely passionate and loyal person, and her intensity sometimes gets the best of her, but I think a lot of people that are that intense and have that much of a wall are really vulnerable underneath. And so I think it was so fun to collaborate with Kaitlyn and build that relationship, because you get to see Molly behind closed doors and how silly and fun and loving she is. So I think it's I think so much of the film is learning about the duality of people and how you can see something on the outside and they can be going through something very different on the inside. And Molly's beautiful performance in The Cars AAA is so symbolic of that. And I think for my character, she loves Amy so much, and she can be loose and silly and fun, but she takes things so seriously, and she has to put that armor on at school and around these people that she doesn't feel like understand her, when really all along she was the one judging them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. This is absolutely amazing. So actually kind of going off that, like the duality, and it's amazing because you see a movie like this and you get these recognizable archetypes and it's familiar and you can enter into the story that way, but then we get so much depth and new nuance to these like recognizable kind of, slots. So I'm curious from the writer's perspective, how did you guys balance kind of the archetype with the unique character elements that you managed to give each and every one of these cast members?
Well, there's a nice shortcut, because as you're saying, like anyone who watches these movies projects those archetypes themselves. So if you, in high school as well as in movie watching, if you see someone with one quality, it's easy to box them into that quality. So our goal the whole time, revealing the layers of everyone as it went on, it was fun to go one by one and say, this is who you assume they be, what's underneath throughout the story, throughout the journey. And I mean, the performances do most of it, but it was fun to say, like, okay, if there's someone like AAA that everyone assumes is this kind of person, how can we not say she's not completely different, but there are so many layers to that underneath to really understand her perspective. It was a lot about just shifting perspective throughout, which was fun.
I'm so, you are all so great. You're so great in the movie, and I'm sorry that we don't have time to talk to all of you in depth, but it's just amazing to see you all here. So I just want to appreciate that so much.
Thank you for creating such a real depiction of high school. I just graduated and see such a great depiction of how much of a mess it can be. Yeah. It was really nice because I hate the stupid stuff like Riverdale. But so I do have a question. It could be for anyone. I feel like a lot of times when we're creating art, we forget the fun parts. So does anyone have a funniest or most memorable memory that they have from this experience?
There's a lot.
Okay, nobody's talking. Yeah, look. Oh yeah, okay, so one memorable experience for me, I was graduating during this time. And this was my first time in drag. I was like, I don't know what I love, but I love it good. So then, I was doing, graduation week, I had these essays and stuff due. I'm literally telling my teachers, all right. So then I'm like, okay, you know what, I had this movie, blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay, you can go, but get this. LA, I was in school at NYU. LA is 3 hours behind. So when something's due at midnight, I got 3 hours left to do it. Y'all know I already drunk. Y'all know I'm But I was literally sitting behind being an eyeline for Beanie and Kaitlyn. We literally he's dead! He's dead! Doing my essay in the clam, in the dress, trying to get dressed. That was a memorable moment.
Well, tomorrow, Olivia's actually giving a keynote tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning. Cannot wait to hear, to see today, you'll have to stay up all night, we're celebrating, but we look forward to that. And then there's a cast panel of some of sorts again also that I mentioned earlier, what time it is in the conference to continue this conversation. This film is great. Thank you all so much.